CrookedTable.com here. So we've reached the top of my countdown to the Best Picture nominees. I've been ranking them according to what I feel is most deserving of winning Best Picture. What I feel like we can look back on years from now. This is one that stood out from the pack and achieved something so important in a lot of ways. And it's not to say that every film has to say something important, but if we're saying Best Picture, I love Star Wars The Force Awakens with a fiery passion, but I'm sort of okay with it not necessarily being labeled Best Picture, because let's face it, it's the 7th film in a series of films that deals with a lot of the same themes, a lot of the same characters, a lot of the same plot points sort of revisited and presented in new and different ways. So the Best Picture, last year I was a huge fan of Birdman. I actually just rewatched it. That had a lot to say about Hollywood and fame and wanting to feel important, wanting to feel that you matter in a world that's obsessed with everybody becoming YouTube stars, or, everybody wants to have a podcast, or everybody wants to start a business, or everybody's like, hey, look at me, selfie generation. That to me is what Best Picture really means. It's like, this is a film that is in a lot of ways a time capsule of who we are, where we're at, what's on our mind, and sort of commenting on our past so that we can prepare a better future, at least on some level. For me, of the Best Picture nominees, that film to me was number 1. Spotlight, directed by Tom McCarthy. This is another one that, of course, that was a lot of buzz going into it. Actually, it sort of came out of nowhere. I hadn't heard anything about this for the longest time. Then all of a sudden, I started seeing ads at the gym. Spotlight, with all the critics' raves, just talking about what a great film it was and how important it is and all that stuff. As the months rolled by, started hearing more and more of it getting nominated for stuff, and like 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes, and with a cast of our actors that I already love: Michael Keaton, Mark Ruffalo, Stanley Tucci, Rachel McAdams, Liev Schreiber. It deals with the sex abuse scandal that plagued the Catholic Church back in the early 2000s, and the subsequent cover-up and all of that entailed, really sort of stemming out of a collection of incidents within the Boston area, and then kind of revealed on a much grander scale exactly how long this has been going on and how much the church have been sweeping it under the rug. In a lot of ways, Spotlight is a procedural, and it really does focus on these are the journalists, this is the story they're after, and then how they get there, how they work the sources, how they track down documents, and try and piece together the truth through a variety of different means. It's not one of those films that the cast really has, except for one scene with Mark Ruffalo, where the cast really has a lot of those Oscar-y moments. It's really more of it's a more intimate story, and it's a lot more subdued and understated than that. But the subject matter that it deals with is such a poignant, rich subject matter, just on a number of levels, on a crisis of faith, on a political level. I mean, it really is a political conspiracy thriller in a lot of ways, as much as it is a procedural about the process of journalism. And having worked as a journalist myself, I was really drawn in by that. Being a writer is not a glamorous job, but it is an important one, and that's what Spotlight really catches. I mean, maybe it just speaks to me because I'm a writer, or maybe it speaks to me because I was raised Catholic, but Spotlight has a lot to say about the systems around us and exactly how much we really don't know. And we're living in an age now where the political campaign is getting more insane by the minute. We're really entering a time where we should be more cautious and more aware and thinking more critically more than ever before. And Spotlight really touches on that. Using this incident that has affected so many people and doing it justice by telling the story the right way, focusing on the issue, not so much the characters. They're important characters, but you don't really see a lot of, for example, Michael Keaton's character's home life, or, what's going on in their marriages, or what's going on in their personal lives, or what does that mean? You get hints of that and how emotionally invested they are in the story that they're working on, but it's not really about them. It's about something much bigger than them. And you really get the sense that the characters in the film realize that that what they're doing does matter, and it does make a difference. In taking on the subject matter, McCarthy really sort of extrapolates that theme out to a bigger level. His film is about people who pursued the truth, and in doing so, it brings the truth to light even more so than it ever has been. And to me, that's really a sentiment that's worth celebrating. And McCarthy and his team really put together such an intricate and subtly emotional story about people who are so devoted to their job that they were relentlessly pursuing the truth, running into obstacles on every corner, simply because it's the right thing to do. That's the kind of story, that's the kind of resolve, that's the kind of message Best Picture should send. It is by far one of the most important films to come out in 2015, and if I was running the Academy, this would be the one I would name Best Picture. Have you seen Spotlight? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Visit CrookedTable.com for more videos, podcasts, reviews, and other movie-related goodies.